Hello students, hi everyone. Once again, I am preparing this video of the remaining topic of the previous video in which you are studying about the mechanism of transport of materials across the plasma membrane. You studied the passive transport in that video, osmosis and diffusion, their differences and the importance. Okay, let's start the second transport, that is the active transport. Active transport. Students, as you know that passive transport does not require energy to transport the materials across the plasma membrane, and it based on the concentration gradient. This active transport is just opposite like that. How? See, this is the type, this is the type of transport across the plasma membrane that is rapid. This type of transport, it is rapid and involves. How it will be rapid? And involves energy, consume energy. And what will be the form of energy? In the form of ATP. This transport is against concentration gradient. Concentration gradient means against the concentration, and involves, what involves? Involves carrier proteins. What involves? Carrier protein. Carrier protein. What kind of material can be transferred? Like glucose, amino acid, some ions like potassium ion, calcium ion. These are transported across the plasma membrane through this mode of transport, that is active transport. You see here, it is rapid while passive transport is very slow. Second thing, it involves energy in the form of ATP, while there is no energy involvement in passive transport. Okay, it uses carrier proteins. It uses carrier protein. Carrier protein means what? You remember that if any material need to transport from one place to another, it will be transported by any transporting vehicles like the truck or train. Okay, so these carrier proteins are act like that. Carrier, malwahak. Okay, they have the permeability across the plasma membrane, and with the use of energy, they able to pass the materials like glucose, amino acid, and some ions across the plasma membrane. Okay. Now the next type of transport is the bulk transport. Bulk transport. Name itself somewhat indicating about this mechanism of transport. Bulk means in large amount. Okay, so large amount of materials. Amount of materials transported across the plasma membrane by utilizing energy. Here energy is utilized. It is also mechanism. By utilizing energy. Okay. Now which type of materials are transported through this transport? Materials which cannot pass across plasma membrane. Now the question arises, if materials are not allowed to pass across the plasma membrane, then how they will transport it? Okay, so how they will transport it? A small portion of plasma membrane invaginates means rupture, breakdown, invaginates to facilitate the transport. Okay, see it carefully. Okay, large amount of materials transported across the plasma membrane by utilizing energy. Okay, materials which can't pass across plasma membrane. Then how they will pass? A small portion of plasma membrane invaginates. Plasma membrane invaginates means breakdown to facilitate the transport. Now the question arises, means types of this transport on the basis of the form of material. Form of material, state of matter. You know there is solid, liquid, gas. So on the basis of material, which type of material? You know gases are able to pass through the diffuser. Okay, and they can easily diffuse, they are allowed to pass. Some liquid molecules which have some special type of substances which are not allowed to pass across the plasma membrane, either they will pass through this mechanism or solid substances. Okay, on the basis of material. Okay, it is on the basis of direction, not material, on the basis of direction. Okay, it is of two types. Okay, what those two types are? One is called endocytosis and another is called exocytosis. Okay, now you can easily clarify the direction. Endocytosis means inward movement. Inward movement means from medium to the cell. From medium to the cell. And exocytosis from means outwards. Outwards. Okay, means from cell to the medium. Endocytosis inside and exocytosis outside membrane. Okay, so let's study them one by one. Okay, endocytosis. Just before some time I was saying that on the basis of the nature of material, whether it is solid or liquid, okay, so on the basis of material, need to transport two types of endocytosis. Which cytosis? Endocytosis identified. Two types of endocytosis identified. What are those? The one is the Pinocytosis. What is Pino? P-I-N-O. Pinocytosis. And another is the Phagocytosis. Phagocytosis. Okay. Pinocytosis and phagocytosis are two types of endocytosis. And bulk transports two types, endocytosis and exocytosis. This is based on the direction. If the materials are moving inward from medium to the cell, then it will be endocytosis. And exocytosis, if the material moving from the cell to surrounding, exocytosis. Okay, endocytosis अंदर की तरफ and exocytosis बाहर की तरफ. Now this endocytosis on the basis of material transported across the plasma membrane, if the liquid is transported, it will be pinocytosis, and if solid large molecules are transported, it will be phagocytosis. Okay, let's now study them one by one in short. Okay, dear students, I am requesting you again and again to listen the video carefully, see the video carefully, and before seeing, you need to read these topics priorly. That will make a base to understand this. Okay, Pinocytosis. Pinocytosis. Okay, this endocytosis, what type is endocytosis type? This endocytosis involves transport of liquid substances which cannot otherwise pass across the plasma membrane. Okay, if they themselves are able to pass across the plasma membrane, that will be the passive transport, but they are not able to pass themselves, so this pinocytosis. It is also called what? Cell drinking. Because liquid transported. Just like we take water is a liquid, and we say that we are drinking the water. The liquid has been transported inside our body from the medium. Here also the liquid transported inside the body of cell from the media, so it will be the cell drinking. Okay, you can take the example to understand this mechanism. Okay, let's take an example. Take the example of amoeba. I am going to rub this. Okay, amoeba is a single cell body and that absorb the liquid droplets like the vitamins and other substances from the surroundings by this mechanism. So let's try to understand with a diagram. You know, amoeba has pseudopodium. Okay, pseudopodia to acquire the food. Okay, I think you will be able to understand. This is the cytoplasm. This is cytoplasm. Okay, this is extracellular fluid. What is extra? Means outside of the cell. Okay, extracellular fluid outside of the cell. Okay, and some materials are trapped in this. This is the surrounding. So some materials are trapped. This you can say this protrusion can be the pseudopodia. Okay, this will be the pseudopodia. This vacuole forms is called caveola. Okay. Now, whenever any required substance comes around the amoeba, its pseudopodia wrap around it to trap the material. Okay, that happens here also. Now, it slowly converted into a vacuole. This will be joined together and this portion will knit off to form a vacuole. This vacuole will call the pinosome. Rest of the things are similar. This is the cytoplasm. Whole structure is amoeba and some materials it has entrapped in this vacuole. Okay. So in this way amoeba, single cell organism, in which now see what is the mechanism? A small portion, this portion. This is the plasma membrane, cell membrane. So this small portion of plasma membrane ruptures to facilitate the entry of substance inside it. Okay. So this type of rupturing is called the invagination. Invaginates, rupture. Okay. So a small portion of plasma membrane invaginate to engulfing the liquid substance inside the body, and that is called the pinocytosis. It is the pinocytosis. In this way amoeba absorbs the liquid substances inside its body. Its importance is the materials which are present at the either side of the body can be transported to the other side of the body. This material is now here, it will slowly move towards it, and from this side to this side this material came and where it will be utilized by the body of amoeba. Okay, so this is the pinocytosis. Hope you will understand. If you have any problem, already I said, feel free to ask. Okay, and it is called the cell drinking. Now take another type, that is the phagocytosis. Phagocytosis. As I said, the similar definition will be here. Any solid substance that not otherwise able to pass across the plasma membrane that transported through this mechanism, and it is called the phagocytosis. It can be also called cell eating because the material is solid here. Okay, the material which has been transported which will be transport inside the cell will be solid here. So this type of mechanism will call the cell eating. Okay. Now see again same diagram. Any food particle appears around the body of amoeba. You know amoeba has any irregular shape. Then slowly amoeba starts to trap this particle inside its body by covering it through its pseudopodia. Okay, I hope you are able to understand. You've seen this figure many more times. Okay, again in next step this will be in this form. Okay, slowly the pseudopodia will able to trap the food particle, and in next step it will be amoeba will be in this way, any shape, and this particle enters inside the vacuole. Actually this is called the vesicle, and you know this vesicle how it formed? This because of rupturing of membrane. Okay, so it is the plasma membrane, a portion of plasma membrane that converted into the vesicles, and this is the solid food particle. Solid food. Okay. Now this solid food entered in the body of amoeba, and now amoeba will digest this food in food vacuole, and the solid particle will be consumed by the amoeba. So this is called the engulfing. What is engulfing? Solid substances are transported across the plasma membrane by invading a small portion of plasma membrane. Similar type of mechanism is found in our body also. You know, leukocytes. What? Leukocytes. Do you know leukocytes is the another name of white blood cells. Okay, they also do the same mechanism in our body by to engulf. To whom they engulf? Microbes. Which type of microbes? Which are uninvited. Entered in the body, like the virus, bacteria. Okay, so this type of leukocytes are present in the blood, you know, and whenever any uninvited microbes enters in the body, these white blood cells engulf them by invading a small portion like this and kill them and prevent our body from the infection. Okay, so this is the phagocytosis, cell eating. Okay, one thing is important here, that endocytosis means pinocytosis and phagocytosis, this both is the property of animals only. Okay, what is? I will write here. I think you understand the diagram. Here, endocytosis is the property of animal cell. Whose property? Property of animal cell. Okay, it is not occur in plants. Understand? You see here amoeba, leukocytes, these both are the animal cells and they have the property of pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Okay. Now another type of bulk transport is what was? Exocytosis. What was? Exocytosis. As the name itself enough, where transporting of materials which not anyhow able to cross the plasma membrane, from a cell to surrounding. What type of material are they? They can be liquid, they can be solid. Okay, so that is the exocytosis. You can take the similar figure here. Suppose this is the body of amoeba. It has some type of waste materials in this vacuole. Okay, this is vacuole. This structure is cytoplasm, and this is the extracellular fluid, means medium. Okay. Now in next step, this will again form a invagination. In this way, in the body of amoeba, and this material will be here. And now in next step, the amoeba will become complete cell, and this material has been removed out in the extracellular fluid. Okay, so this is exocytosis. What is the importance? You are seeing here that removal of the material outside of the cell is exocytosis. Throwing of material outside of the cell in the surrounding is exocytosis. Importance is very valuable. Okay, let's talk about the importance. One importance of this exocytosis is it help in removal of undigested food from the body. Just like as egestion through the anus, similarly it is single cell, so it use exocytosis mechanism to transport the undigested food particles from the body. Okay, it also secretes substances. This type of substances like hormones, enzymes. Okay, and another importance is replacement of membrane. As you see that membrane bound vesicle that carry the excretory material, waste material, has been removed by the invagination of plasma membrane, and that material fuses with the main plasma membrane. In this way, the old plasma membrane will get a cover of new plasma membrane. Okay, and because of that fusion, some substances are also released, or because of digestion of plasma membrane, some substances are also released. Okay, so this is the exocytosis. Now students, within these two videos of mechanism of transport, you have to revise some topics. Okay, this transport, in transport you study the passive transport, in which you studied about the diffusion and osmosis. Meanwhile, you studied the different types of solutions and their effect, and a practical based question also. Okay. Second, you studied active transport. That was only definition. And third, you studied the bulk transport. bulk transport, in which you studied the endocytosis. In endocytosis, you studied the pinocytosis and phagocytosis. And exocytosis, bulk transport in exocytosis. So students, revise these topics. If you have any problem, you can ask to me. Timing is 10 to 12, as you know. You have the contact number also. Till then, stay home, remain safe and study properly. Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you for listening carefully. Okay. If you like the video, if you able to understand, then please like, comment and subscribe also. Okay. Thank you very much.